If we could start getting settled down, that would be wonderful. And before we begin our official assembly, I do want to, we're going to warm up a little bit. You may notice that we have had some film crew, some AV members out and about working on some pretty cool projects. We've got a fun video that they've produced. It's really quick, just a little promotion for our What AV Club. And if you have any interest in joining, please let one of us know. You can let Lindsay know, you can let myself know, and we'll see about getting you to one of those meetings. Okay, so enjoy the little promo.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi. Television studio? Huh.
Or representation of Jace Meese. This is not. Get that microphone out of here. Do you know how many people?
In this direction, they won't have to worry about the lighting of the window.
I think that file's going to be on Marriott. Second file on Marriott. Caleb Gabriel on the line, shoot two. I don't think he's taking a shot, has he, today?
Okay, so the bases that you see are our new North Star logos. So Nick Smith over here has been an official friend of North Star for over a year now, and he's been pretty amazing. He has joined us in quite a few.
Does it work now? Nope. Okay. Figured it would.
Don't record.
Why? He is recording.
Turn that off! Right.
So now I'm going to let James and Jacob take it over with our today's announcements. Round of applause for our February announcers.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, February 28, 2019. It is a blue day. Drama practice until 5 p.m. Telstar Middle School Alpine team took second place in the state final races in GS and slalom. Races were held at Black Mountain in Rumford and Lost Valley in Auburn. In yesterday's race, Riley Jerome took third, Quindrum placed fifth, Mayhoff 18th, Jocelyn Nivis 27th, and Peyton Berry 28th out of 81 racers. For the boys, Oliver Safebeck raced to the finish line, placing 21st out of 80 male racers. All racers did a fantastic job to bring home second overall.
Late bus departs at 5:15 p.m. Student leadership, there will be a leadership leadership meeting tomorrow, Friday, March 1st, during 6th grade lunch group. 11:25, 11:50 in the lecture hall.
Open gym. Our athletic trainer is holding an open gym for middle schoolers on Wednesdays. If you're interested in doing such activities as indoor soccer, ultimate frisbee, or basketball, the sign-up sheet and permission slips are in the copy room.
Sign up for dodgeball teams is open. Sign-up sheets are in the bookcase in the copy room. Each team must have 8 people. Sign-up cost is $8 per person. Slips of money are due today, February 28th. The tournament is March 6th, 3:45 with a bus.
Telstar Middle School Book Club. Book Club will not be meeting today, but we encourage you to bring your permission slips so we can meet next week. Box tops. The next collection will be today, Thursday, February 28th.
Science fair. Show boards for your science fair project are available in the sale office. Price is $5. Due to lack of permission slips, book club will happen next Thursday.
This day in history. On this day in 1953, Cambridge University scientists James D. Watson and Francis H.C. Crick announced that they have determined the double helix structure of DNA, the molecule containing human genes.
Joke of the day. How many sea creatures communicate underwater?
It was how do sea creatures communicate? And, they use shell phones.
So welcome to today's Star Assembly. Mr. Kenny, can you please come down and do your thing?
It's a hard act to follow. We'll start off with 6th grade. If you Google top notch, you'll find phrases such as the highest quality, top level, tip top, and outstanding. These words come to mind when we sum up the attributes of this month's nomination. This star's work habits are exceptional. It is her second nature to tackle her assignments, and her teachers notice her careful consideration of every problem and every task. This results in exceptional quality workmanship. As a top-level student, she pays close attention to detail. She thinks deeply about her classwork and naturally develops effective ways to solve problems, with a high level of precision and thoughtfulness. She doesn't just stop at solving the problem, but she analyzes the why and the how, not just the what. She has an uncanny ability to defend her outcomes with thought-provoking evidence. She knows how to craft an argument using solid, well-thought-out reasoning to support her claim. Even if her opinion differs from her peers or her teachers, she persists by justifying herself in a mature, deliberate manner. And often, she's right. This superstar is often ahead of teacher pace, but seeks ways to challenge herself and deepen her own understanding of the material. This, in turn, makes her an exemplary role model to her classmates, as they notice. Congratulations this month go to Gianna DeVito. The February 7th grade superstar demonstrates our school's rap ideals every day. She's respectful of school and classroom rules by always being on time to class, never lingers in the halls, completes classwork on teacher pace, and always does her assigned homework on time and at a high level of accuracy. She's accepting of everyone regardless of who they are or what their troubles may be. She is constantly sharing a kind word and encouraging her peers to be the best they can be. She genuinely cares for others as much as she does for herself. In all classes, this student quietly perseveres at every task. She willingly participates in class discussions and is a great team player. Although the concepts seem to come easy to her, she is never boastful or overly confident, always carefully checking her work and moving forward. She has outstanding creativity and craftsmanship in visual art, always willing to help a peer to figure out a problem or accomplish a task. In PE, she always gives a strong effort while having a great attitude regardless of the activity. Words to describe this superstar would include dynamite, astounding, brilliant, compelling, dazzling, epic, impeccable, insightful, notable, sensational, stellar, and vibrant. She is truly an inspiration for all to follow. Please join us in congratulating the 7th grade superstar from February, Brooke Henson. When the 8th grade team sat down to discuss this month's superstar, the virtue responsibility came to mind. Their ability to manage schoolwork while meeting the and exceeding standards, staying on task, as well as actively participating in band and sports is reputable. This month's superstar has worked consistently hard since the beginning of the school year. Recently, this student has shown growth in class participation, taking risks, and being brave in unfamiliar tasks, even when it wasn't always easy and comfortable. She does this while managing extracurricular activities, staying focused, and being an active member of all classes, band, leadership committee, and sports. This 8th grader has been a good student, willing to go above and beyond. She takes her academics seriously and is motivated to do well and succeed. She's responsible, accepting, respectful, and loyal. She's a good friend to others, and we're proud to have her on our team. When she hears the news, she's literally going to flip. Please congratulate a February superstar. She can ski wicked fast. Riley Jerome. We have one more round of applause for our 3 superstars. I think it's pretty impressive the vocabulary used and the ways the teachers, the teams describe these 3 ladies. Some pretty impressive examples of students here at our school in all aspects, both in the classroom, being a peer and a friend, and also being a student athlete. So we appreciate that, and that definitely makes our school a better place. So now I can step aside and see that too. Gentlemen.
The highlights for Superstar Awards are effort on assignments, showing impressive improvement, avoiding conflict and arguments,
Helping classmates, going out of your way to include someone, and working hard on the Great Escape.
stepping in and under in warm-ups, for being teachable and taking advice, trying new things.
You're reading my handwriting.
Setting a good example in class, demonstrating self-control and leadership, writing, I don't know what that is. Sorry. willing to take care of our learning space, and being brave and standing up for a peer.
For all our stars, congratulations, guys.
Leech. Okay, so now we have some announcements from teachers. Mrs. Prescott, can you come down?
Okay, I'm here to talk about the talent show, which some of you have been thinking about for a while, maybe since last year, maybe since 6th grade, who knows, but it's coming up. So, March 21st is the Art Reach Talent Show. It's also the same night as the Science Fair, and that's intentional. We want to have one night where everybody comes and enjoys everything here at our school, and so the Science Fair is from 4 to 5, or 5:30, and they'll be mostly downstairs. And then up here, we will have a student art exhibit and sale out in the red tile area in the hallway, and also a talent show here. And we're raising money for 3 nonprofit organizations as part of the Art Reach this year. So our big topic for the Art Reach was mental health and wellness. And each grade level had a different essential question, a different focus for their research. And for each focus, we picked a nonprofit to raise money for. So in 6th grade, we've been learning about how animals can help our mental health. And we're raising money for an organization called Canines on the Front Line. They train service dogs and provide a free service dog at no cost to Maine combat veterans who have experienced PTSD or TBI or other kinds of injuries and that can benefit from service dogs. In 7th grade, we've been researching how physical activity and sports can help our mental health, and we're raising money for Maine Adaptive Sports and Recreation. Some of you know, they're up at Sunday River, and they help people with disabilities experience sports in a way that they might not be able to without help. And in 8th grade, we have been looking at how forests can help our mental health, and we're raising money to help the Bethel Community Forest Project, which is having an area of public land in Bethel that we can all enjoy for all time in a lot of different ways. So our show will have some more information about those things, and we'll be raising money for those. The talent show is free, but we'll be asking if people want to give donations to any of those causes. We'll have the opportunity outside. So that's the show. The tryouts for the talent show are happening next Thursday after school. And if you want to be involved in the talent show, you need to do a permission slip. This permission slip is good for your tryout and for staying after school the night of the show. Folks who want to be helpers for the show, stay after and help, you'll also have a permission slip. And it's got a front side for you to fill out and a back side. And the back side is telling us all the information we need to know about your act. So the kind of things we've had in the talent show before. We've had people singing, we've had people playing instruments and singing, dancers and singers, comedians, magicians. My goodness, we had somebody doing circus arts one year. It's any kind of performing art talent that you want to share. You can do it by yourself, you can do it in a group, but you need to know what you're going to do soon. And so if you can't make it after school next Thursday, you need to come talk to me before next Thursday to tell me about your act, and I'll still have you do a permission slip. So that is the big message. Any questions about that? Yeah. It is for all middle school. It's not high school, it's just middle school. And so grades 6, 7, and 8. Any other questions? Yeah. Well, so if you come to the talent show audition and your act is, in our opinion, not ready to show, we'll have a conversation about that and we'll work on it. Okay? Most of the time, people pass the audition, and some people ask me, what would be somebody that wouldn't pass the audition? Somebody that was not prepared at all, or somebody who I felt their show's act was maybe not appropriate for a middle school audience. That's about it. But if you have questions, you can ask me. And Mr. McFarland is also going to be there, and he is willing to accompany acts. So if you were a singer and you're looking for somebody to play music along with you, you actually need to talk to him about that. So some of our kids doing independent music, this would be a great time for you to showcase some of the stuff you've been working on. It's totally your choice if you want to do it. But think about that, especially if you're thinking, hey, some of those organizations seem like things that I'd like to support. This is one way you can support them. The more people that we have that come out, the more likely it is that we'll be able to raise money for these great causes. So, thank you. To our STEAM night. So we've got the Science Fair Expo that's going to happen, and then there's going to be the talent show and the art show after. Well, that's a long evening because we hope you will all come to all of it. So we are going to offer a community supper, and we're going to put together an awesome taco bar with dessert and drinks. And so if you come, then it's it's not for free, but it's a minimal charge. And we want you to come and just enjoy a meal together and have a wonderful evening. So I just wanted to put that little piece in there too. This is new. We've had them in the past as separate events, and we thought, well, why not just do one big Shazam and make it amazing? So.
Our next announcement is Lindsay Smith from North Star.
All right, hey everybody. So last month I stood up here and told you that I would be offering some after-school activities in the month of March, and so now I'm back up here to actually announce the dates and let you know that the permission slips are now available down on my bulletin board. So what we have coming up, most importantly, because it's coming up Tuesday next week, so really soon, is our ice fishing after-school program. So how that works is that I will be picking people up right after school at 3:20, and we will be going over to North Pond, fishing until 5:30-ish, and then coming back to school for 5:45. So most important thing about all three of the activities I'm doing is that you can't ride the late bus home for these. So if you rely on the late bus, I'm really sorry, but the activities would have been too short with our extended school day. So we're going to have to get rides home from the events at 5:45, or carpool or something fun like that. So biggest thing is ice fishing is Tuesday the 5th, next week. Anybody interested, I'm going to be outside of the doors with a little sign-up list. And if you're interested in ice fishing with me on Tuesday, I will have the permission slips copied and in your RAP teacher's box by the end of today, so that hopefully you can take those home today and bring them back tomorrow. I know that's a short turnaround time. I also have very limited spots, so first come, first serve, and I will let you know if you're in or not by Monday. Make sense? Question?
Where is the ice fishing?
fish, we're going to ice fish over on North Pond. Yep, right over in Greenwood. So you'll learn ice fishing techniques, you'll learn ice safety, you'll learn about the equipment and the fish, and we're going to be going out with Matt, who is one of our Bryant Pond 4-H staff members. Okay, so that's the first thing coming up. Then on Monday the 11th and the 18th, we are going to be offering a follow-up sewing after-school activity for 2 times. So we, and 7th graders, you were able to sew with us on preview day with all of those amazing volunteers. We have one of them in the room actually back here in the corner. But Donna, who is one of the ladies that came that day, is going to offer a sewing after-school activity for us those 2 days at the Historical Society in Bethel. Same thing, pick you up at school, bring you back at 5:45, and we are going to be working on hugs for cancer patients. And so that's like a warm little blankie shawl thing that they send to people that are in the hospitals. And so we'll be helping with those projects. If you are a 7th grader, you'll get priority just because you've participated in the past. But it is open to anybody, so definitely turn your permission slips in. You can come to one or both days. So that's going to be down on my bulletin board. I'm not going to be doing a sign-up sheet for that, so just go down and get one of the permission slips and turn it in as fast as possible. My bulletin board is across from the 6th grade bathrooms downstairs. Last thing is that we are going to be offering 2 after-school rock climbing blocks at the Bryant Pond 4-H Center on our indoor climbing wall, and those are coming up Thursday the 14th and Thursday the 21st. Same thing, the permission slips are down on my bulletin board. First come, first serve. When I hit my number, that's the end, and I'll have to tell you, sorry if you got your slips in later. Any questions on those 3 things? Yeah. So my bulletin board across from the 6th grade bathrooms downstairs, right outside the middle school office, has a folder, like a manila folder stapled to it, and just stuff it right in there. Or it could end up in my mailbox in the middle school office. Both places are acceptable. Don't give them to your rap teachers, because it might not make it to me as quick as if you put it in my folders. And then you might be out of a spot. Make sense? Any other questions? All right, so if you want to ice fish, definitely stop in when you're dismissed, and I'll put your name down and get your permission slip. Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, Mr. Hedden.
Can I give Mr. Booth 2 minutes? Yielding my time very quickly.
Do it real quick. Just a plug for Chess Club. We had our first one this Tuesday. I had more people from this side of the room than the middle or that side. I'd like to see more from the center or the 7th grade. If you know how to play, great, but if you don't, you're still welcome. We do snacks, we hang out. So I hope to see more of you. What was that? So next Tuesday, there are still permission slips outside my door, or ask me if they run out. I'd love to see more of you.
As you heard, Science Fair is coming up. I want to talk about another opportunity for science, because science rules the world pretty much. We, in the past, a long, long time ago, used to go to a fair called the Sandy Andy Fair, and it was run through the University of Maine Farmington. And that fair, Mrs. Slattery and I used to take students all the time. Actually, Officer Whitney, Sheriff Whitney, he went there with me once. He had a wind turbine project. It was pretty cool. Anyhow, that fair is gone. And last year, Mrs. Slattery and I, and Mr. Dow, and now this year, Mrs. Prue, we've been talking about how can we generate some more regional science. And we have collaborated a little bit with Sunday River, and they are going to offer us a space on April 11th. We've sent out invitations to other schools. It's going to be like a Western Maine regional science and invention fair with cash prizes, actually. So the judging is hopefully going to be done by UMF students and some other esteemed colleagues of ours. So That's April 11th. There'll be more information about that coming out later. The next piece is, who knows what this is? Yeah, it's a solar panel, right? This, a car. You put them together, and you have a solar car. Last year, I offered an opportunity after school to build solar-powered cars and then take them to a race at the end of the year called the Junior Solar Sprint. And Danielle Smith, maybe? O'Neill, yeah, not Smith, it was, Danielle O'Neill from the Bryant Pond 4-H camp runs the Junior Solar Sprint. And it's actually a big deal. Lots of schools show up. Last year we had the winning car, except the racers were eating a hot dog and missed their race. So, the good news is, one of the guys that built this car, Tanner Martin, Logan's older brother, is going to help out and be sort of a mentor in doing this. So, if you like cars and engineering and solar power, or you just want to build fast cars, I'm hoping to be able to start it 2 weeks from today, after school, for those students that play baseball. If you can get in or any sports, if you can get in your time before April break. There will be some times after April break for those that don't do a sport or don't do an after-school activity, so that we can get the cars ready and we race them in June. And like I said, it's big fun, lots of students from all over the state, and it's a blast. So be on the lookout for that. That'll come up hopefully in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today we'll start. Okay, that's all I got.
Now can Riley and Peyton come down for Nordic skiers and Alpine?
So these girls came down. I asked them to represent the Nordic and Alpine teams because something really cool happened yesterday, and I'm going to let them tell you about it.
So yesterday we had an Alpine and Nordic race for states at Lost Valley, and together we won the Sportsmanship Award, and stand up. Yes.
And then our Alpine team came second and overall, so that was pretty cool too for states.
Just so you know, we will take the trophy down and get the team name engraved on it. It stays here at Telstar until next year's state meet, when it goes back to the States, and then next year's recipient will get to keep it for the following year. So there's nothing to say you can do it 2 years in a row. That's okay. And then we will have a team photo put in the plaque for the Alpine team to put in the trophy case as well. So these will be in the office for a little while, and we'll make the way up to the trophy case until next year. But job well done, guys. It's pretty impressive.
And then just to tag on to that, we are very proud of your accomplishments and the goals that you score and the places that you land at the end of a race. But we are super proud that this is a sportsmanship award, because that speaks to your character and who you are as people. So that represents Telstar very well. Thank you very much. I have some announcements about eligibility, dances, and all that kind of stuff. We have 3 dances left in the year. Our next dance is March 8th, and we have eligibility that will be announced on Monday. And I just want to remind you that your howls matter because it's your habits of work and learning, and that is what makes you a successful student, okay? It also allows you eligibility into participating, which is a privilege, our dances and our movies. If you are ineligible, and your advisor or your teacher notifies you that you're ineligible, you are not to attend the dance. If you attend anyway, that's not fair to the people who worked really hard to be eligible, or who stayed home this time and set a goal to improve their howls for next time. And so you will not be permitted to attend the rest of the dances. So please heed the warning, make some changes in behavior. We want you there, for sure. But we also want you really focusing on the learning, because that's a priority, and your howls reflects that. If you are absent from school, you were not in school on that day, and you weren't participating in a school-related activity, there's a difference. Like if you're doing District 2s, you're off campus, but you're still doing school. But if you are not doing school, you cannot attend an after-school activity. So attendance matters. We want you here. We miss you when you're gone. And we have some fun dances coming up. This March is, I don't know what else to call it, it's a regular dance. We'll be, moving and grooving in the cafeteria, and the gym will be open for basketball, maybe some indoor soccer. April will be a blacklight dance. And so that dance takes place in the gym so that it can get really dark, and then we have the black lights, and we wear, the fluorescent colors, bust out our clothes from the 80s, and we don't have open gym because the dance is in the gym, but it's really cool. And then the fancy dance is in May. And I just want to say a word about the fancy dance for those of you who maybe haven't attended before or who have. Yes, it's the fancy dance. We do decorations, and people tend to dress a little differently. But there is no, you do not have to go get a prom dress or rent a limo or get your nails done, okay? This is just maybe take a shower. That'd be good. Maybe wear a shirt that doesn't have spaghetti sauce on it. A collared shirt for the boys that's a step up, that would be nice. And ladies, if you want to wear, a cute dress or whatever, a pantsuit, you can do that. I will warn you, not to stereotype, but typically girls like to wear the fancy shoes that they've never worn before, and then it really hurts your feet and you want to take your shoes off because your feet are in pain. You cannot dance around the cafeteria with bare feet. That's gross. We eat in there. Honestly, you know what's cool? Flip-flops, Crocs, Converse sneakers, okay? Be comfortable, be confident in who you are, and we do still have some dress code rules in terms of I don't want to see private parts, okay? Yeah, so make sure that we're covered, but I will say that there are, we've talked about straps. When you're wearing a fancy dress, sometimes your strap is thinner. That's okay. It's a different event. Riley, you have a question?
Will the gym be open?
No, the gym is not open. And that's because of the shoe issue. We're sneakers only, and we're dancing, and there'll be fun decorations and things, and we usually have good snacks. It's a different kind of dance. I know, Riley's yeah, come on, Riley, you can do it. Kyle. Possibly mom or dad might not appreciate if you're rolling around the floor in your sport jacket. Okay, good night for that. Yes, we do have to move along.
So, just so everybody knows, if you are in need of a fancy dress, the Giving Closet is going to be open a couple weeks before the fancy dance, and you can save yourself some dough and get one from us, or even borrow it and bring it back for somebody else.
Absolutely. If you are in need of an outfit, let us know. We can help. You also do not need to have a date to come to this dance. All right? This is just like any of the others. please, everyone is welcome, and if you have a special someone that you are planning to be there with, that's wonderful, but we want everybody to attend. Okay, also one quick little shout out. I know we've got some wonderful people who are working on The Great Escape, and so I just want to remind you, are you writing your book reviews? Don't leave them to the end. We've got some great trailers that have been submitted, and I want to highlight a couple of those at our next assembly. I know that we have a few kids who are well on their way. Do we have anyone who has already completed the challenge? I know that there are a few who are close, so it's the race to the finish who will be first. Always love announcing when we have our first one. Okay, Jana's not done it. She's like, no, I'm almost there. I'm working on it. Right? Okay. So now Lucas, it's your turn.
Okay, so can Mrs. Kimball come down for the focus of the month?
Hi, everybody.
The projector went to sleep. Just really quick, so I said the second climbing thing would be on the 21st. Well, now we know that's the science festival. So the second climbing night's actually going to be canceled because I have no better dates in the month of March, and I'll make another climbing event in April. So ignore that on the commission.
Alright, so this month's focus is on listening, which you all are doing so well right now. Or maybe not. So, when you are listening, this is a quote from Stephen R. Covey. Most people do not listen with the intention to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Raise your hand if you ever feel like you were talking to somebody and they instantly start talking about themselves afterwards. Yeah. So we want to talk about that just a little bit. You can put your hands down. So before we get started, I want to do just a quick activity. So everybody is in a row. You know what your rows are? Hopefully. Okay, so everyone that's on the right-hand side, so this side of each row, so where Miss Lecce is, where Mr. Hedden is, where Mr. Cobb is, that side of the row, think of a word. Any word, think of a word. Appropriate. All right. Now, we're going to make our way down the line. So the first person thinks of a word. Tell the person to the right your word. Yeah. Okay. Now, the second person, the person that's just been told a word, you're going to think of a word that ends with the letter, or that starts with the letter that their word ended with. So let's, for an example.
My word is booger.
Okay, so in case you guys couldn't hear in the far corner, Mrs. Lecce's word was booger. Booger ends with R, so the next word has to start with R, and he chose rat. So then the next person says a word that starts with a T because rat ends with T. And it goes on and on and on until you get to the end of the row. in a row. Let's go. Okay, when your row is done, put your hand on your head. When your row is done, put your hand on your head. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that when I said to think of a word, everyone in the whole row instantly thought of a word. You don't have to answer. Okay. The point of that example is when you are listening, you weren't listening to learn. You were instantly listening so you could reply or you could come up with the answer quickly and you wanted to be prepared. Which takes away from the meaning of what the person is saying to you. Okay, so we just want to talk about some active listening. Active listening is being fully focused on the speaker and what they're saying, showing that you actually care what they're talking about, and being respectful while they're talking, as well as giving verbal and nonverbal cues that you are listening, you are interested in what they're saying, and you want to know more. So we'll talk about the nonverbal cues first. So that's eye contact, smiling at the person that's talking. Your body language, you're not slumped over, you're sitting up straight, you're focused on that person, and there's something called slant. So S stands for sit up. So you're sitting up in your chair wherever you are. Sit straight up. Listening, which means your voices are off and you're not talking. You ask questions from the speaker when they're finished. You nod and take note of what they're saying so they know that you're focused on them. And you track the speaker. So if I was up here and I was moving around like this, your eyes are still tracking me no matter how many laps I do. So I know that you're still listening to me intently. So now let's talk about the verbal cues. A major part of that is not interrupting the person that's talking. Even if you're having a conversation with your friend and you have something super exciting to tell them, you're taking the time to actually listen to what they're saying, take it in, understand it, care about it, and then if you have something to say, you can say it after. You want to ask questions or for clarification if there's something you don't understand. You can summarize what that person has said when you are responding to them so they know that they were heard. And then you could also paraphrase. All right, so we are going to try it.
We're going to do it first.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do an activity that is specifically focused on asking follow-up questions. And the key to a follow-up question mimics the activity that we just did going down the row. You have to listen to what the person said in order to ask your question, because your questions should solicit more information based on their answer. And are we going to do the what not to do? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to give you guys a quick example of what it does not look like. And then we'll do a, this is what it looks like. Okay, so very quickly, what it does not look like. I'm going to be the question asker. What did you have for dinner last night?
I had tacos.
Oh, wait, sorry. What did you have last night? Tacos. Oh, no, I had pizza. You should have pizza sometimes because it's really good.
I don't like pizza.
No, pizza is really good. You should try it sometimes. And have you ever had tacos?
Yes.
Okay. So you get the clue. Like, it's not what it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to try another one. Do you have any pets?
I do have pets.
How many pets do you have?
I have 2 pets.
What types of pets do you have?
I have a dog named Mr. Pickles and a kitty named Kitty.
So Mr. Pickles is a really interesting name for a dog. How did you come up with that name?
He actually came with the name because he's a rescue dog.
When did you get Mr. Pickles?
I got Mr. Pickles 9 years ago.
So you see, yes. Yeah, I know, we should have put Mr. Pickles up. He's really cute. And I like cats too, but I'm allergic, so I just try not to. I might have watery eyes or something. Okay, so what's next? Now your turn.
So the next set, now we want you to try it. Okay? So we ask for volunteers from teachers in the middle school. So you could try some of our active listening follow-up question techniques. All right. The teacher we will be asking questions is Mrs. Jerome.
I enjoy spending time with my family, being athletic, and resting.
Okay. Follow-up question. Did you listen to what she said? Yeah. Now ask the question that helps you to learn more, and I'll let Mrs. Jerome choose. Are there any specific sports that you play? Great question.
I enjoy skiing, playing golf, soccer, and biking.
Okay, now you have to ask a question based on that answer. Based on that answer. Don't go back.
Back there in the purple shirt, way back. So
Where do you bike?
I actually have a spin bike in my living room, in front of the TV.
Okay, your hand should not still be up because she just gave an answer. Now you need to think of a question based on that answer.
Oh boy, Cody?
What's your favorite show to watch while you're cycling?
I actually watch a lot of fitness what am I trying to say? Like on YouTube, you can just type in fitness, spinning, 40-minute workout, or The Office.
Okay, follow-up question. We'll do 2 more follow-up questions. You guys are doing excellent, just by the way.
Let's go with Kyle.
While watching The Office, do you like to sing along or hum along with the
That's a really good one. My volume on my remote control, it's it doesn't go that loud, so, gosh, I don't know if I've thought about that. I don't know if I have, but I'm going to try that, Kyle.
Okay, based on that answer,
I should respond
we've
more
like
to that.
gone way down a different path. That's not where we're going.
While I spin, my dog actually runs away. He really doesn't like the bike. My puppy, Willie.
Okay, follow-up question. Do you sing along with the office opening? She's like, how to talk about that? My dog's not my remote, doesn't work.
Morgan.
Do you consider yourself a good singer?
I sometimes a little nasally.
Thank you, Mrs.
Alright guys, that did a great job. So just think about that in your daily practice as you are listening to friends. You're in class listening to your teachers, or there's a guest speaker, or you're home talking to your brother or your family, or you're just in public. Think about, if you're just a human, think about those things and try to put that into practice. Even if you maybe don't do it every single time because you're working on it, try it once a day to really show that you care and you want to hear what people are talking about. All right.
Okay, so this leads us into one other thing that many of you have already experienced and participated in, but that we are going to be building into a regular routine. Mondays, typically I think we're going to try this, or Fridays in our rap groups, is participating in talking circles so that we can establish and that we can just build relationships. Because believe it or not, we really like you and we like learning more about you. It is important to note, talking circles are not a new thing. Okay, circles have a long history in terms of being ancient symbols. They represent time, cycles, and it's really, if you think about what a circle is, it's about being connected and wholeness. So that's why they're important symbols throughout all cultures. The First Nations in Canada, well, what is now Canada, so thousands of years ago, they were the indigenous or Aboriginal people who were originally living on this land. Those communities had established talking circles as their way of life. It's how they conducted all government, business, and religious ceremonies. And then we have cultures across the world who have seen sort of why certain cultures use talking circles and have adopted those and adapted them for purposes of in school or in our own government. And what do the talking circles do? It establishes an equal sort of membership. Not a single person in a circle is more important than another person. And there's not one person who is in control and has more power than any of the others in the circle. And also, if you think about that circle being a wholeness, if you have a piece that's missing, it has an impact. And so that's why we like that and why they're important. Oh, there you go. There's my slide for that. So just a real quick description. Those of you who have participated before, we establish norms. And we have some guidelines and some rules that we're all going to adhere to with relation to using a talking stick, that we're going to make eye contact, refrain from use of technology, or having side conversations, things like that. We use respectful language, and we have a protocol too. There's a process that includes an opening, kind of ceremony, whether that be taking a breath or looking at something. We read an opening quote just to sort of set the stage. We have different parts that involve discussion and response so that we can use some of that active listening. And then we have a closing so that it feels like it's complete, that circle. And it's really important that we have a purpose for that. And so we will be starting tomorrow in your rap groups with a talking circle, and the purpose is it's just very casual and friendly and just get to know each other type of purpose. But sometimes those purposes are really to solve a problem or to generate some ideas, but we'll work on those. And so that's what's next. Advisors, you will get a script for you by the end of today so that you can take a look at it. And we just ask that you guys, it might take 5 or 10 minutes, but that we participate in a talking circle at some point during RAP tomorrow. And there you go. Listen to learn. I think that's everything. We've covered. Thank you for those of you who had some excellent follow-up questions. Again, thanks to Mrs. Jerome for being willing to share a little bit about herself. We are going to, I got my 2 helpers today. Thank you to Noah and Lucas for being our MCs.
Superstars, can you please stay in the auditorium while the grades get dismissed? 6th grade, you can leave.